First they lose you, and they don't even notice. They convince themselves it was a choice, a strategy, something they calculated and decided. They tell themselves the distance gives them power, that the quiet protects them. But time does not protect anyone from the truth. And the truth always arrives in silence, when there is nothing left to say. The part of them that needed to win made them believe that whoever pulls away first comes out on top, that whoever goes quiet holds the control. But what they never understood is that silence doesn't make people disappear. It makes them louder, inside their own heads. Every day without you becomes a question they can't stop asking. You know what that felt like from the other side. You stayed with the words stuck in your throat, the mind full of things you wanted to understand. You wanted to know how someone could let go of something real that easily, but eventually you saw it clearly. It was not strength, it was fear. Fear of feeling small in front of what you were offering. Fear of seeing themselves in the reflection. And that is where everything began to shift. You stopped reaching. You stopped asking for clarity no one was going to give you. You understood that choosing not to respond is not a punishment. It is a form of self-respect. That staying quiet does not make you weak. It makes you the one in charge of your own interior. Real emotional control is not about dominating someone else. It is about holding your own impulse, the one that wants to explain itself to someone who was never really listening. From that point forward, silence stopped being empty. It became the space where you rebuilt without making noise, where you stopped looking for validation and started looking for steadiness instead. That is the core of Stoic thinking, not indifference, but the kind of calm that disarms, the kind of peace that unsettles people who only know how to live in chaos. Because when you stop reacting, everything flips. The ones who used to make you doubt yourself start doubting their own ground. Silence moves like a slow current beneath everything. It shifts what pride tried to keep in place. What they called forgetting becomes awareness. What they called control starts to come apart at the edges. This is not about revenge. It is about clarity. About the moment you realize that the silence that used to hurt you is now the thing keeping you safe. That you do not need to raise your voice to be heard, because the kind of stillness you carry now has a weight that noise can never match. If you are starting to recognize this pattern in yourself, the impulse to explain, to close cycles, to make them understand what they did, I went deep into exactly that in my ebook, The Power of Not Reacting. The link is in the pinned comment. What you are going to understand here is what it feels like when the weight of it finally shifts. When you are no longer the one waiting, you are the one watching. When the whole thing stops being about winning or losing